Hello, everyone, and welcome to Ladle Love with Bailey Reeves.
This is Joey, and he is our IT/camera guy for the day.
And here is our sous chef, Mrs. Jazzy Jazz. Jazzy, you ready to make some soup? And this is Winnie, and she is our very qualified taste tester. She'll let us know how the soup turns out.
So this recipe is super special to me, just because it's been passed down through my family. So it has a lot of meaning behind it. It's really old school. Like I said, it's my great-grandmother's recipe. She taught my grandmother how to make it, who then taught my mom how to make it, and then my mom taught me how to make it.
And the thing that I love about this recipe is that it is super simple. It's really easy. There's only a handful of ingredients, and there's a couple alternative ways that you can make it if you just don't have a lot of time or just to help with convenience. So that's always a plus for me. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start by prepping my potatoes. So I'm gonna go over to my sink and I'm gonna peel these all off and wash them, and then I'll come back and chop them up. We've got our potatoes peeled and rinsed off. I am going to just chop these up. I like to chop them in half, and then in half again, and then just into bite-sized pieces. The bigger your chunks of potatoes are, the longer it's gonna take for them to cook. But once I get it chopped, I'm just gonna transfer it into this bowl, and I'm gonna continue doing this until all of my potatoes are done.
And per usual, while I'm cooking, our sous chef Jazzy needs to go outside and play. I can't get the door open.
So in the meantime, I'm gonna get our toppings ready. Bacon bits, I'll do cheese, cheddar cheese, and I like to do green onion as well. And so you can get your favorite bacon and you can cook the bacon yourself. I prefer to do mine in the oven just because it makes the cleanup a lot easier. But you can fry it however you like to cook your bacon. We'll shred our cheese here. First, we have to taste test it. All right, so now that our potatoes are chopped and ready to go, we can just set those aside. And we are going to start making our base or our broth. So the first thing we're gonna do is make a roux, and you can use flour and really any type of fat, so shortening, bacon grease, butter. I'm gonna use butter today because I just like the way that it turns out better. I like the taste of it, but don't get it wrong, I'm a true Southerner and I have a full jar of bacon grease in my fridge. So I'm gonna melt our butter. You wanna do this on kind of medium heat. You don't want to burn it. And you really have to use your eyes for measurements. We don't have exact measurements. We just kind of make it based off consistency. But if I had to guess, I used about half a stick of butter. And then I'm going to go in with a 1-to-1 ratio. So I have 4 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. And you just want to be sure that you constantly whisk it, constantly stir it, because it will burn. And then if it's too thick, you can always add in more butter. If it's too thin, you can always add in more flour. So I'm gonna cook this, just keep whisking it for about 2 minutes or so.
And of course, Jazzy needs to come back in now. No! Oh!
All right, so now that we've got our roux going, I am going to add chicken broth. Do about 3 to 4 cups of this. We've got a lot of potatoes, so I'm going to go ahead and use 4 cups. And so now we are going to whisk this and continue to stir it. And this part takes probably about 15-20 minutes or so, but we're just gonna stir it every now and then and wait for it to thicken up. I will show you the consistency and just a little bit once we get it to the right thickness. All right, so now that our froth is done, we've got the cream cheese is melted. It's at a nice thick, creamy consistency. So now I'm going to add in my potatoes. I'm just gonna kind of plop these down in here really gently because I don't want it to splash and burn me. So I'll get all these potatoes added, and then we're just gonna cover it and let the potatoes cook. And this part takes a while. It's probably gonna take about 45 minutes or so. All right, so the potatoes are in. We're just gonna let this cook for about 45 minutes or so. And then I will come and check and stir and just, make sure that everything is good to go. And then once the potatoes are soft, we will let it cool and just come down to just above room temperature. And then we will serve. So our soup is finally finished. So I'm gonna go ahead and ladle some out. And while it was cooking, I got all of my toppings prepped. So I got the bacon cooked and crumbled, chopped up the green onions, and shredded our cheese. And so now we've got our soup, and you can kind of top it just like a chili. So do a pinch of cheese in there, and some bacon bits, and then just a couple green onions. And we're ready to eat.
All right, here's a taste test. I think it passes. Taste test number 2. Dang. Taste test.
Mmm, delicious. Mmm.